All right, guys, it's Midnight Maritime. Welcome back to the channel. Today's discussion topic on Deadrop, at least. I'm live on Twitch right now, so we've done many discussion topics before this. And we're about to play Hi-Fi Rush, the new game from Tango Gameworks and Xbox. Anyway, today's discussion topic on Deadrop's an interesting one that I thought about today. And it actually came to mind while I was discussing things with people in a Deadrop Midnight Society Discord. And that is, should Midnight Society focus on the console version of Deadrop, which really got me thinking. There's a lot of opportunity, I think, for Deadrop on console, because right now, there's very few extraction shooters actually out on console, right? Tarkov, the biggest game, is not out on console, and as far as I know, there's no plans to release it on console. Hunt Showdown is probably the most prominent extraction game on console, albeit those of you who played it know it's very different than your standard extraction shooter. It's horror based, and there's also it's got a whole different gameplay loop, as you guys know. Marauders is not on console. We do have the DMZ in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, which probably technically is the biggest extraction game on console by sheer numbers. DMZ has not been extremely popular, but it has acted as an introduction to many console players for the extraction shooter genre. Now, this is why I think Deadrop should actually focus. I know when I say focus, understand that I don't mean don't focus on the PC version. Obviously, we're playing the PC version now, the snapshots on PC. I'm not saying make it a console first game, but what I'm saying is there's a ton of opportunity for Deadrop on consoles that could help it really gain a leg on its competition in the extraction shooter genre. So I made a video about what games Deadrop might be competing with by the time it actually releases, which I'm guessing, maybe 2024, if we're lucky, the early access version or whatever. Vigor is on console right now. That's an extraction game. And then there's other games. I did a whole list of other games that have extraction elements and so on that are all available on this channel, which you should totally subscribe to if you want Deadrop and Midnight Society content. That's what we're dedicated to on the Midnight Mare YouTube channel, and we're not going anywhere. But I think there's a lot of opportunity, and when I think about what holds players back, the gaming population in general. So right now, the extraction shooter is a blossoming genre, much like Battle Royale was a few years ago. Something new that a lot of developers are working on games in. So, there's going to be a few of these in the long run. Usually what happens with these blossoming genres, whether it be MOBAs or, the auto chess, the auto battler genre, now extraction shooters, everybody will make one. Everybody and their brother. And there will be maybe 3 at the end of the day, which will become, the heavy hitters of the genre and last, for 10 years or whatever, or longer. And Midnight Society and Dr. Disrespect obviously want Deadrop to be one of those games. They want it to hit. So that means, in my opinion, for that level of mass adoption, Deadrop really should get the console version right. And I think that that's where the game design and balance is really going to be important. And when you think about a game like Escape from Tarkov, it's very, very hardcore, and that's what a lot of people love about it, right? But it also means that there's a gate to new players, that a lot of people just don't want to try it because it's so hardcore. And that's what a lot of the games in these genres, new genres, that end up being the leaders in the genre long term, the games with staying power, they get right is they are welcoming new players in their game design. So, Tarkov has a lot of really hardcore elements, such as injuries, stuff like that, the healing. I've heard a lot of people struggle with that particular aspect of the game, and just many other things, right? It's very unforgiving, and that's part of what makes extraction shooters tense and great. But hopefully, that's why I think Midnight Society, and when they look to the console audience, an audience that hasn't experienced many extraction shooters yet, how can they convince those players to try their game, to play their game, to try a new experience, which can be difficult? When Battle Royale games first came out, it was massively different, right? It was kind of intimidating. Like PUBG was a kind of intimidating game to many players and many gamers who've never played something that hardcore before, or that buggy before, for that matter. Hopefully we don't have that problem with Deadrop when it releases. But if you get what I'm saying, if Deadrop can be that game, and many developers like Blizzard and Riot have excelled at this, taking a genre that's new, but then kind of streamlining it a little bit and making it accessible, and then taking the lead in that genre. If Deadrop can be that game that console players can enjoy, that's not too overly complicated, that has depth and skill gap, and I've got a video on this channel about skill gap, then I think the console audience will adopt it, and that will help it become one of the premier extraction shooters when it releases. And there's going to be other games, I'm sure. Again, I've got a video on the channel about that, vying for that spot. So, for example, you don't expect DMZ to go anywhere, and Tarkov's not going anywhere, right? But, we expect Bungie to announce Marathon as an extraction shooter, their reboot of Marathon. They're obviously going to target the console audience as well, because Bungie has a ton of console fans, via Destiny, via Halo. So that's going to be a heavy hitter, and you can certainly expect Bungie to make their game accessible. So that's what I think when I think of like inventory management and healing and movement. If they can not make the game, I don't want to say less punishing, because part of being an extraction shooter is it's high risk, high reward. Punishment is part of the game design, but just capture that core gameplay loop. Make sure it's a fun game. Make sure it's accessible. I think that Deadrop can really utilize the console audience to compel Deadrop to be one of the leaders in the extraction shooter space. So that is today's Deadrop topic discussion. And now we're going to move on with the stream. And if you enjoyed this discussion, let me know what you think in the comments about everything I just discussed. And we'll see you in the next video.